Hi everyone! Welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be covering questions for dependents arriving in the UK to join a family member already living there on a student or skilled worker visa. We'll go through questions about your purpose, ties, and plans. Let's get started. Let's start with some general questions that you might be asked at passport control. What is the purpose of your visit to the UK? You could say, I'm here to join my husband, who is already working in the UK on a skilled worker visa. Who is your family member in the UK and what is their status? You could say, my husband, Ramesh Gupta, is in the UK on a skilled worker visa and is working as a software engineer. How long do you plan to stay in the UK? You could say, I plan to stay for the duration of my husband's visa, which is currently valid until December 2025. Is this your first visit to the UK? You could say, yes, this is my first time visiting the UK. Do you have your dependent visa documentation with you? You could say, yes, I have my dependent visa and all supporting documentation with me. Let's go over some questions about your relationship with the primary visa holder. What is your relationship with the primary visa holder? You could say, I am married to Ramesh Gupta, who is the primary visa holder. How long have you been married? You could say, we've been married for 3 years. Do you have any documentation proving your relationship? You could say, yes, I have our marriage certificate with me. How long has your spouse been living in the UK? You could say, he's been living in the UK for 8 months. Will you be living with your spouse in the UK? You could say, yes, I'll be living with him in London. Now let's cover questions about your living arrangements and financial support. Where will you be staying in the UK? You could say, I'll be staying with my husband in our rented apartment in London. Does your spouse have accommodation for you both? You could say, yes, he has already arranged for a 1-bedroom apartment in London. How will you support yourself financially in the UK? You could say, my husband has stable employment in the UK, and we've saved enough to cover our living expenses together. Do you have sufficient funds for your stay in the UK? You could say, yes, we have sufficient funds and additional savings to support our stay. Next, you might be asked about any ties you have to your home country to understand if you're likely to return when the primary visa expires. What ties do you have to your home country? You could say, my family is in Mumbai and I have family responsibilities there. We plan to return when my husband's visa expires. Do you have any long-term plans to return to your home country? You could say, yes, we plan to return home after my husband's work period in the UK ends. Now let's discuss questions specific to your dependent visa status. Do you understand the restrictions on your dependent visa? You could say, yes, I understand that I cannot work in certain fields and must adhere to the conditions of the visa. Do you have any plans to work or study in the UK? You could say, at the moment, I don't have any plans to work or study in the UK. Are you aware of the duration of your dependent visa? You could say, yes, it's valid for the same duration as my husband's visa, which is until December 2025. Lastly, here are some additional questions that could come up. Do you plan to bring any dependents with you, like children? You could say, no, we don't have any children, and I am traveling alone to join my husband. Do you have any questions about your stay in the UK? You could say, no, I understand the terms of my visa, and I don't have any questions. Do you have a return ticket booked or plans to return at the end of your stay? You could say, yes, I plan to return to India at the end of my husband's work contract. And that's it. I hope this guide helps dependents feel more prepared and confident for their arrival in the UK. Just remember to answer clearly and truthfully, and don't forget to have all your documentation ready. Safe travels. And if you found this video helpful, please like and subscribe for more tips. See you next time.